Okay, I know the lighting's bad and I kind of did that on purpose because it's late, I look like crap, and I was just crying, and this is like the second, third time I've tried to do this fucking video and it keeps screwing up, whatever. I don't have the fanciest computer, so just bear with me. It's not about what it looks like aesthetically, it's about what I have to say. I really think what I'm about to say is really important. Those of you who are willing to listen, I hope that you'll take heed to what I'm saying and, be an activist in your community, in your families, within your friends, stand up for what's right because there isn't a whole lot of people that do that. So the very few people that will do it or have, the heart to do it need to fucking do it. Um, so basically, what I want to talk about is just the child abuse epidemic that's happening in our country, and it's been happening. It really isn't a secret, but nobody wants to talk about it. And when you do try and talk about it, people always try and sugarcoat it like, oh, well, kids need to get whooped and blah, 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 and all this crap. But let me tell you something. um, there's a fine line between discipline and abuse, and the problem is that most of those people that are screaming, I got the right to whip my baby, and it don't matter what the law says, this and that, those are usually the people that are fucking abusing their kids because most competent parents know that there's a certain line that you don't fucking cross, and I personally don't believe in spankings at all. And that's I come from an abusive background. I'm not gonna get into all that because it's I don't want to, but I have a 4-year-old son, and he's very well behaved. Like most kids, sometimes he gets a little hyper, sometimes whatever. But if you talk to a child, I mean, there's other forms of discipline. You don't just have to hit them. To me, that's the ignorant route. If you can't think creatively enough how to outsmart your kid, and the only thing you can think to do is to hit them, that just really shows your lack of intelligence. And more reason why you just don't have any business having a kid because you're a fucking idiot. That's just my opinion. But anyway, back to the child abuse epidemic. 5 kids in America die every day from child abuse. And that is a real statistic. You can look it up yourself. And I see it every day. I see it when I'm out at the store. I saw it with my fucking neighbor. She hit her 3-year-old toddler in the face, like the same way you would hit somebody out in the street. I don't fucking play that shit. And yes, you better believe that I fucking stopped that shit. And I put a stop to that shit and I reported that bitch. I'm not the kind of person that can turn a blind eye to shit like that, and I don't think anybody should. If it's happening in your family, if you see it happening, you need to do something. There's this really dumb ass stigma that people follow, especially in the urban community. That this whole like don't snitch type shit, whatever. That if you snitch or if you say something, then that makes you a traitor or whatever the fuck. Well, let me tell you something. When you don't stand up for what's right, it actually makes you a pussy. Okay? Because you don't have the fucking balls to stand up for what's right. So you'd rather live by a code of ethics that somebody else made because they're trying to save their ass. And you don't have the balls to live by your own fucking code of ethics. So that actually makes you a bitch. And I would rather fucking be somebody who's true to myself and true to my own fucking code of ethics than be a fucking bitch, because I care about what other people think about me. I don't give a fuck what other people think about me. Alright? I care about kids that I see getting hurt and abused and treated like shit. That's what I care about. Fuck these other motherfuckers. They can think what they want about me. Yes, I am gonna say something. If I see it, I'm gonna say something. I'm gonna try and put a stop to it. If it means it gets physical, it means it gets physical. And I will fucking call the cops. I don't give a fuck what people think. You know? And you really just gotta ask yourself, what matters to you? I don't care if it's a family member. Fucking talk to that family member. Like, or if it's a severe thing, you need to fucking do something about that shit. You need to fucking report that shit. You need to fucking offer to take that kid. If you got the heart to do it, you know, I just don't understand how people can hurt a child. If you're one of those people who beats your child and you cuss them out and you treat them like shit, then this is my personal message to you. Fuck you, you're a fucking piece of shit, you're a fucking pussy, you're a bitch, you're scum of the earth, and you honestly deserve to be fucking dead. And if I was ever to be face to face with you, somebody like you, and I saw you doing that shit to a child, I would fucking do it myself. So I hope that doesn't get me in trouble for me saying that, but I mean, I'm just really just that's how strongly I feel about it. You know, the law, people do not get punished to the full extent of the law. People get away with child abuse all the time. You know, these fucking pedophiles, don't even get me started on those motherfuckers. They fucking sexually abuse children, and then they get out a year or two later on parole so they can abuse another child. Our laws are not, we have no justice in the justice system because people that hurt kids, they don't go to jail. And when they do, it's not for a long time. And the motherfuckers that murder children, who abuse their own children and murder their own fucking children, they don't even get convicted of murder. They call it, oh, the child's death resulted from child abuse or some bullshit like that. Like they don't even call it murder. It's fucking murder, you know. And what people don't understand is, you know, when you beat your child, that is a fucking, that's a, you're suppressing your own self, your own lineage, and your own people. And when I say people, I'm talking about the urban community, Hispanics, blacks alike, you know, or really just anybody in the urban community. You know, because at this point in our society, it's no longer about race, it's about class. You know, and is this class warfare going on? You know, and the thing about it is that when you abuse, when kids are subjected to abuse, they're more likely to become addicted to drugs, to become a part of a street gang, to be running in the streets, robbing people, and become criminals. Why? Because they're all fucked up. They have post-traumatic stress syndrome and they fucking develop mental problems from being abused and traumatized. These kids cannot grow up and be productive members of society. So when, you know, you are basically, you're just creating a cycle and you're suppressing everybody else down. People are not going to be able to progress and, you know, become educated and be, you know, productive members of society if people keep doing the same shit. You know, I'm really sick of people saying that, well, the reason why kids are bad or these badass kids is because they don't get beat and they need to get beat like they used to back in the day. That's a fucking lie. And that's a fucking misconception. Kids are getting beat all the fucking time. That's why society continues to get more and more violent and ignorant and fucking stupid. You know, because people act like animals. Animals bang each other over the head, you know, because they can't fucking communicate. And that's how people are. They're fucking too ignorant. They can't communicate effectively to their child, so they can only do what an animal will do because they're fucking animals. And they bang them over the head. It's fucking disgusting. It's sick. You know, if you can't love a child and you can't treat a child the way they deserve, with, you know, with love and affection and, you know, protection and all that, just don't fucking have one. Get sterilized, please. Fucking kill yourself. You know. So I mean, this issue, it's a big cycle. Child abuse, poverty, and it just keeps going. You know, you're never gonna get out of that cycle. Your children, your grandchildren, they're not gonna get out of that cycle if you don't fucking change your ways. People are afraid of change. They're afraid of fucking change, and you know, if anybody sees this video that knows me, they're probably gonna talk shit because let me tell you, I've come a long way. I used to be a piece of shit. Not I would never hurt a child, but I was self-destructive and I was not living a good life. I was doing a lot of things that were bad. I was out in the street doing things I shouldn't have been doing. But I changed. So fuck whoever got anything to say about me because I changed and I've turned my life around and that's not who I am anymore. And I was a child back then. And again, you know, I come up from a abusive background, you know, so I know what I'm talking about personally, and then I know what I'm talking about because I've seen it with other people, with friends, you know, who I've seen still can't pull themselves out of that pit, and they're fucking grown, you know, mid 20s, early 30s, and they're still doing the same shit they were doing when they were 16. So, you know, I just want you guys to really think about that. I know this video was long, but it needed to be said. Sorry, it was kind of me rambling, but I don't know. So much shit needs to be said, but this video is really fucking long, so I'm just gonna stop talking. And whoever wants to talk shit, whatever, fuck you, go to hell. I hope you die because you're probably one of those people that beats kids. So, And if you're not one of those pieces of shit, if you're with me and you're fucking just so sick of the injustice and you're sick of people doing this stuff to kids, stand up for them, do something about it, speak up, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid of what other people are gonna say. Fuck them, you know? So that's all I have to say about that.